It's Thursday morning. I'm covered in sweat because I just rode my bike 4 miles to the office and it's already like 85 degrees. But that's not going to stop this from happening. So this is the hair for the Arian 2EX head. I think I got that right, yeah. So I got to clean this thing off. This was a 12-hour build. And then you can see, I don't know if you can see, there's no face on here. We print that separately. I'll put that on later. So anyway, that's it. I don't know what else to say. You guys have seen this before, right? Yep.
Here I have the molds, the mold for the Barbarian base. We finished it yesterday, and you guys can see it's pretty big. We already removed the base from in here. Spencer did some cleaning, and now I'm going to do a final cleaning and prepare for casting. Okay, so this is what we're going to need to do. We're going to need one of those foam boards, and then we're going to prepare a little bit of silicone, and we're going to dump it on that foam board to kind of coat it with silicone, just the size but here. And then we're going to use that as a cover, put a piece of plywood on top, and then tape it so you can have it hollow. Yes. Yeah, I'll show you. I have to prepare this here for the I'm using it, sorry. But you should use that one.
Yeah,
use it. I'll use this one. It's fine. the way, we have finished printing Arian AX head with hair. It's right here. We are now making some adjustments, and pretty soon we're going to be making molds for her too. Yeah, it's right there.
Because I just love sculpting hair. And snake scales and mermaid scales.
Man, the Medusa is gonna be something straight out of your fantasies then.
Aaron spent the last year, the whole year saying, "Oh, if I ever go to work for you at ARH Studios, do you let me make a Medusa?" I said, "Yeah, of course, man." I know that's your dream.
Yeah.
So, here you go.
I can't wait to sculpt scales for the next 2 weeks.
Well, if this Barbarian if the left dealer in the Barbarian isn't enough to make you famous in this industry, the Medusa will skyrocket your name. Guarantee you. Yeah.
Alright, I'll take you at your word.
Yeah. Be sure that your name will skyrocket once we have the Medusa.
Are you gonna compensate him when it doesn't?
Hmm?
Are you gonna compensate him when it doesn't?
No, that just means I screwed it up.
No, you will. You will. Come on. Aaron has a resume. Here, look at his resume. You know? Okay. This is the Barbarian first casting of the base. And you gotta remove it from inside the foam, and it's kind of hard and tough to do it, so I'm gonna need Spencer to help me with this.
Here, pick it up.
Let me see if we can
That helps right there.
Yeah, I got it. Whew. Oh. Okay, so this is the base.
You need help getting it out?
No, I think from here I can do it.
Probably gonna have to cut the side open again.
Probably, yeah. Shoot, nobody can say I didn't give my blood for the company.
Oh my god. Right, apples.
Yeah.
You just better wear your helmet on that bike.
No, I got a helmet.
I
Yeah.
saw that, yeah, we'll see if you wear it.
No, I'm gonna wear. Yesterday I got a tinted visor.
Yeah.
It's all black,
Yeah.
so it's gonna look really cool once you have the helmet with the black visor.
Yeah.
So.
Our patch job did work, Karen.
What's that?
That way we put around these things
Yeah.
didn't work.
Well, that's your problem.
I know.
Well, you should just be able to top it off with more silicone, right?
Yeah, now. The idea was to get done the first time.
Oh shoot.
You get it done.
Yeah.
You only need the casket of it. Oh. Well, Did you rip it up the road, right?
Nah, nothing can't be fixed. Okay, so here's the base, and it's big.
Really heavy too for me, running.
Well, it is a solid cast. That's why it's very heavy for me. The copies that the factory will produce will definitely not be solid, will be hollow, but still gonna be big. So it looks dirty because because of the no, it's because of the clay,
Yeah.
you know. So here's the base. Still need to make a few adjustments, of course, especially fitting the girl properly in the base. Just gonna need some adjustments here, so she's gonna fit snugly. Also gonna do some adjustments here for the Barbarian. So the sword. Some adjustments here for the sword too, some cleanup, and he'll be ready. Yep, almost there. Almost done. See if we can get it, ship it to Jim Roll this week for painting.
Hey, it's Monday. What's the date? I don't remember. It's June 22nd. We're running out of time. I had actually, okay, so this is the Frazetta Fighting Man of Mars. I had started this actually shortly after I moved out to Idaho. Been kind of like picking at it in my spare time. It's a really cool painting by Frazetta. I guess it's probably not like in the top 5 most well-known paintings that he did, but it is definitely an iconic piece in the line of like the John Carter series. So I guess like the story here is like it's Deja Thoris with probably like a soldier or like maybe one of her personal bodyguards or something. I am ashamed to admit I've actually never read cover to cover any of Edgar Rice Burroughs' books, and I should have, right? It should be like part of my homework. But I'm sculpting, there's no time to read. But hey, you know what? I believe Frank Frazetta only skimmed through those books himself. I think he even said in an interview that he never read any of them, not cover to cover. Regardless, I honestly don't have time to read because I'm sculpting like 13 or 14 hours a day, like 6 or 7 days a week. So anyway, I'm just trying to get this thing done in time for New York Comic Con, and I've got a bunch of other sculpts in the shoot that I'm working on simultaneously. But because I had started this one after I moved out here, I've been picking at it for the last like 4 months. I figured like why not just try to get it done, because realistically like there are some intricacies in her armor, and of course female anatomy is difficult and subtle, but the male figure, aside from the cape and maybe like the helmet, there's nothing too insanely complicated about him. Of course, anatomy is always difficult. You've always got to spend time refining that and really studying good reference and stuff. But right now I'm working on her. I'd say she's like 50% done right now. I'm shooting to have this entire thing done by the end of the week. So you guys can kind of follow along. I'm sure we'll be filming bits and pieces of this as it progresses. Right now I'm working on the portrait. Frazetta obviously had a very like unique portrait style. Like it almost seems, you know, like he stuck to like one kind of look for almost all of his females. This one is a little bit more exotic looking. I think her face is pretty wide. but she's cool. She's got like this very almost like arrogant expression, like, you know, she's kneeling in front of this dude, but she's feeling like a badass. And she's like challenging anyone to approach her because this guy's ready to cut heads off. So she's kind of looking down her nose at people, at me, as I try to sculpt her. She's got this cool, like, heavy lidded down the nose expression, which actually the foreshortening in her face tends to make her head look wider than maybe it is. But I'm trying, you know, like every other Frazetta painting, you have to interpret some things because he abbreviated a lot of the forms. Like, he knew how to paint a pretty girl's head in, like, I'm guessing a couple hours. But he left a lot to the imagination. So as the sculptor, you know, you're trying to figure this thing out in the round, and you've got to obviously establish real human forms and structure, and then interpret, like, find a happy medium between what's realistic and what Frank Frazetta wanted to show. Not that he didn't paint realistically, but he painted in a very idealized, abbreviated way. So as the sculptor, you've got to, like, do justice to what he painted and also make it as realistic as possible. So that's the battle I'm going to be fighting for the day. Like the mermaids, there was a lot of, like, back and forth. I was using, like, Control Z to, like, fix stuff over and over again. Doing the Aryan hair, it was just like,
Okay.
so. But yeah, that's really
But
it.
you still can have that in your on your lap.
Yeah,
right?
I know.
Yeah.
I just, like, it's all the hand-eye coordination stuff that I'm getting used to.
Mhm.
So, but yeah, I know, I got it.
The one I bought, the second one I bought already, the ergo stand already arrived,
Oh, cool.
but the Cintiq itself it didn't. So I'm waiting on it. Well, you send it? Oh, okay, I got it. Yeah. Okay. All right.
How many pages are in the Queen and Empire's novel?
32 per issue.
Do you have the second Astrius ones ready yet?
The second answer what?
Second Astria issue ready to get
To
shipped?
print? No. I mean to start no.
To send the Manos?
I don't have time to do that, man. But I will.
He's on page 21 in his Queen
I
and
know.
Empire.
I know he's fast. He's really fast. Okay, so guys, here is the Barbarian Another Look. I have made a few small adjustments on the base. Not yet 100% ready, but you know, those things take time. Because now I'm working with epoxy clay. You know, I made some adjustments here to hold the bones a little better. They were too, it was too thin here. There was no, nothing underneath the ribs here. So I also added a little more clay over under her leg. So now her leg is totally resting on the base. Now just the feet is off. What I think it's actually cool to have the feet hanging out like that. But everything else, it's actually touching the base now. So yeah, now we're gonna let this harden, the epoxy that I put here harden, and we're going to make minor other adjustments, and then that will be ready for painting. I think that we need maybe probably a couple of days more, and the Barbarian will be ready to send out to our painter. Jim Rowell will be doing the paint job on the Barbarian. I'm probably gonna be painting the base myself. It's way too big to ship out and heavy, so I'm gonna probably do the painting on the base, and then Jim Rowell will take care of the Barbarian, the girl. So we are out. Okay, so the other thing here that I am working on simultaneously to the Barbarian is Aryan. I'm working on Aryan that Aaron did sculpt it. He sculpted the second head with the hair, and the way it goes is we can display her without the hood and without the cape, just like that. Okay, so you can have her with no hood, no cape, and those two shoulder pads come separate. So once you get the statue, you have the shoulder pads separate, and then you just place them here with magnets, and then they attach to the body, and then you just go and place the head on it, and there will be magnets here too. So then she's ready for display. Now, if you don't want to display it like that, you have the second option to display Aryan with the hood and the cape. So we have finished the working on the cape. We have reduced the size. Now it's more like a small cloak instead of that big flowing cape. The flowing cape, unfortunately, did not work in terms of production. It was beautifully done, beautifully sculpted. Yeah, it was a beautiful display, but in terms of production, it wasn't working. The cape was flying way too far to the side, and it was changing the center of gravity of the statue, and the statue was leaning, and also it was not staying on the shoulders. We would have to have a huge metal peg to hold that cape in place, and so that also actually would create all sorts of problems for the production, logistic problems, and then we would have people writing us back and say, oh, my cape's not attaching, it leaves a gap, and things like that, because the way we were going to do, there was too many points of contact. So we would have the hood, the cape, the shoulder pads, and everything, and even the slightest warp on the piece at the factory, and then all those pieces wouldn't go together anymore. So we decided to simplify the cape, and we kept the wolf head, we kept the same texturizing that we did before, but we made it smaller instead of having that flying cape to the side. Actually, I think it even looks better, to be honest. But this is how she's going to look. So you will have the first option to display her with the hood and the cape like this, or you remove this. That's very simple. That's what I like about what I like when I produce a statue, and I want to make sure that everything goes together. Very, very simple. So you just need to go and place the head like that. That's it. No need for any complicated attachment system or whatever. So the cape is here, hardening. I'm still working on the immense here, Gonna have it ready soon too. And the other one is here. Yeah, so this is what I'm working on right now, and then as soon as I'm done, we're gonna move on fully to the Perseus versus Medusa. We have cast the whole piece already. I just need to go ahead and make molds and etc. etc. So, but one thing at a time. Yeah, here we go. Frazetta Princess. She's looking amazing.